Well, hey there. Welcome to day 5 of my 90-day journey with 4Q boundaries and meditations. So, anyways, as you can see, yesterday I was in the park. Today I'm at home again. And partially the reason why I'm doing that is it's earlier in the morning, and I usually like to do meditations in the morning just to set my day. It's a little later than normal. I actually got up. If you can't tell, yesterday and today was the weekend, so not a lot of stressors. It was just a very relaxing weekend. Had some great food, relaxed, did some chores. Not a lot of stress. Today I have some things I wanted to do, so I figured, let's get the video done, so that way I can validate my 5th day, and also to keep moving and doing other things. So it's in the morning right now, and yeah, I mean, I had good sleep. I had good food yesterday. Haven't eaten yet today. I try to do a 16-8 fast. So not in my eating time frame yet, so to speak, but at the same time, I'm not a very strict person when it comes to rules. I'll break them all the time. So, and that's part of what I sort of, even within 4Q boundaries, I don't really like a lot of rules, because a rule for one person that works well, another person goes, I hate that rule. They don't like it. So, and I'm one of those people. I really, for me, it's all about experiential learning, it's experiencing life. And sometimes rules get in the way. So, but at the same time, rules, they also create boundaries. And so there's nothing wrong with rules. It's just a matter of sometimes you just need to break them. But I'm in my fasting window. I'm very happy. So I'm not going to have any breakfast. Anyways, that's part of my check-in. So this is the reason why I'm saying it out loud, is letting you know sort of my state of mind, state of being. Like I say, I always check in where I'm at right now before I start the meditation, so that way I can sort of gauge where I'm at when I start, and then where I'm at when I'm finished. And again, this is not about these eureka moments. It's really about learning the subtleties of your personal space. And your personal space is defined as your aura inwards. And within your aura it's all you. And we define it, we break it down from a physical body, which is, this. Your emotional body, which is your emotions that are non-logical. Your mental body, which is your thought processes, the rules, the definitions. Sort of gives you an understanding of what you're perceiving, because it's a thought process. You put labels on things basically through thoughts. And then your spiritual body. And how I like to define the spiritual body is, I like to keep it really simple. A spiritual body is nothing more than, are you here in this moment in time? Are you present? I don't like to get into the religious dogma, just because it's a perception of how you want to see life. And I see a lot of value in all these different religions, and people follow them, and I'm like, good, you have something that you believe in. So I have no problem with that. How I like to perceive spiritual bodies is really simple, is, are you here? And that, which is one of the reasons why I talk about, it's like, yeah, I drifted. Because when you drift, you can experience what is it like to drift. And when you drift, then guess what? You're having a spiritual experience. When you fall asleep, you're having a spiritual experience. When you're daydreaming, you're having a spiritual experience. And so, and I don't go into the analyzing it. This is not psychology. So we're not doing dream analysis or anything like that. I don't go down that route. It's just the fact that I'm not here. And the whole point of really 4Q boundaries and how I see it is, my goal is to be physically present, to be emotionally present, to be mentally present, and to be spiritually present. And when I'm not, when all these layers within me are not present, then I'm out of balance somehow. And then when I'm out of balance, can I center myself more? And that doesn't mean that I'm always centered 100% of the time, because bottom line is if you're planning for an event, you're in the future. You're thinking, okay, what do I need to do to make sure this activity works well? And so so you're thinking in the future. Not a problem there. Just like in the past, we reflect upon the past. That's actually, you're building wisdom when you're reflecting on the past, because you're taking your life experience and you're basically, as you're clearing out all the emotional stuff, you're able to really get to the gem of whatever life experience you have, good or bad, and you learn from it. And then guess what? Now you're in the embodiment of your life experience. And so being present 100% of the time, all the time, doesn't mean that's the state of our being. That's our goal in life. However, if we're stuck, if all of our energy is the past of, the glory days, I see that with a lot of people as they age. They stay in their youth, and it's like going, okay, you're acting like a 20-year-old, but you're not even close to 20. What's up with that? And part of that is that the value of what they see is in their 20s, and so they're embodying that. But at the same time, they miss out on the fact that they've acquired all this wisdom. At the same time, there's the doom scrollers. They're always in the future. They're all these things that are happening, and they feel misery all the time because they see where the planet's going and they see where society's going, and therefore, then they're always, it's fear. And in fact, a lot of our media sells us on fear, fear of lack, fear of what may happen. And then what they do is they say, hey, give me some money and I'll help you with that fear. And so part of this whole journey of finding your center, being in the present moment, is you get to learn, because you'll go, wow, my attention goes here. My attention goes here. And then you can go, oh, I don't want to go there. I already know how it's going to impact me. Because remember, your physical body is the only thing that's in the present moment. Okay? Your body can't be anywhere else other than the present moment. However, your emotions, your emotional body, your mental body, and your spiritual body could be somewhere else. But they're all connected physically. So if your emotions are somewhere else, your mental space is somewhere else, your spiritual space is somewhere else, your body still has to manage that, because your body is keeping you here. This is your anchor. And so when you're scattered all over the place, your body still has to manage that. But you know what? It's harder on the body, because you're pulling your energy this way and different directions, and the body's like, oh wow, okay, this is all the stimulus I have to manage to keep you alive. Versus my opinion is like, we keep clearing all this stuff out, the more present we can be, just the healthier we are. The healthier we are on an emotional level, the mental level, spiritual level, and physical level. So anyways, that's my little talk today. But like I said, I'm feeling great. Everything's going well. My body's happy with me. And I am on the Strength Builder. Since this is day 5, I'm on the Strength Builder, and I'm not sure what color I'll do until I click on the button. And again, I'm going to do the 3 parts like I've been doing the last 5 days. We'll finish with this sort of check-in of where I'm at, state of mind. The next section I'll give you is an audio, so that way if you'd like to follow along and listen to an audio, it's not as much time as I'm using. And plus, but if you're wanting to have the full experience, I would recommend joining us. Become a member of 4Q Boundaries. That way you can do this anytime, any place that you would like as well. But then the third part will be the summary of what I experienced. And just to let you know, it's hard to I don't, this type of experience, I don't believe it. You're not supposed to hold on to what you're experiencing. It's a releasing process. So for me, it's like it's a little challenging for me to talk about what am I experiencing because it's all about releasing. So I don't want to hold on to stuff, but I will, and then I let it go after the video is done. But the whole point is to let stuff go. So for me to hold on to it so that way I can share with it is sort of it's the antithesis of what we're doing. But at the same time, for the sake of showing you guys what we're doing, I sort of have to. But there's so much more that I experience and actually can share. Because a lot of this stuff, it's like I'll just notice it and it's like, oh, wow, okay, I noticed that. I don't try to figure it out, I'm not analyzing it. I just throw it down my grounding cord because, again, it's about putting my attention back on the grounding cord. Can I see the color? How can I feel it in my body? Can I be present? And what is that like to be present while I'm listening to the audio? Because that's the whole point. So, and then however long you listen to the audios, again, it's your time, which is one of the reasons why I firmly believe in the membership, because it gives you access to all these audios. And this is only week 1. We have 12 weeks of various ways of experiencing yourself. So anyways, enough of this. I will see you on the other side. Take care. Well, hey there. Welcome to the second section of this video. I wanted to give you again another free segment of our training so that way you can see what I'm working on today. We're still on the grounding cord skill builder section because, again, remember we do that for 5 days, and today is day 4, so we still have 2 more days of skill builders and then we move on. During my meditation, I actually focused on gray. So what I'm going to have you do today is we're going to listen to the audio for grounding cord at gray. So enjoy your meditation. Let's change your grounding cord to a gray color. And notice, what is it like? How do you feel when you create a gray grounding cord? Notice the grounding cord's connection to the base of your spine. Notice how solidly it fits, connecting to your body. Notice the length of your gray grounding cord going all the way down to the center of the planet, attaching strongly into the center of the planet. You can notice the length of your grounding cord and acknowledge there's a long ways from the base of your spine to the center of the planet. And I'd like you to be aware of your body. Notice its weight. Notice your breath, letting air in and out of your body. And notice that connection to your grounding at gray. And I'd like you to be aware of your grounding cord. Notice how thick it is. Notice how wide it is. Notice how dense it is. Feel gravity. Notice how gravity is keeping you in that chair and continues down that gray grounding cord. What are you noticing right now? What are you noticing physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, as you're using this gray grounding cord? And if you're noticing any thoughts, feelings, anything that's trying to distract you from owning your relationship, owning that connection with your gray grounding cord, allow all that stuff just to let go. Even preconceived notions of what this grounding cord is supposed to be like. Let it go. Be in the moment. Be present. Allow gravity and your grounding cord to do their job. Well, I'm back. Today was a tough day with meditation. I'm amazed. And it wasn't a tough day in the sense of it was, I was present the whole time. It was tough that, so I picked green. So I decided to do the green spectrum. And I actually was going to just do one round of green. So about, 25 minutes or so. And it was interesting because the moment I started my meditation, I started just focusing on the first color, which was just green. I was noticing I was just having a hard time connecting with the color. In fact, all 5 colors, I was having a hard time just connecting with them. And I was like, wow, this is the most challenging color that I've had all week so far. And it dawned on me, it's like, wow, I haven't really paid attention to this color spectrum in a while. And what I noticed was I just accumulated a bunch of stuff in my space at this color vibration. So this is one of the reasons why we actually work with colors, is that if you think of colors, all colors are is a bandwidth of energy. Okay, there's no meaning to them. There's no definition to them. It's just literally a vibrational tone. It's just a spectrum of energy. And we use the color, we set the tone for, let's say this tool specifically, grounding, at that specific color, because what happens is it stirs up stuff within us. at that specific color. And that's what we're paying attention to, is noticing. It's like, okay, when I'm at green, well, how do I experience myself at green? And then we change it to mint. That's the next color in line. And it's like, well, how do I experience that? And then forest. And so every time we go into a different color spectrum, we're giving ourselves permission to have more awareness of those bandwidths within that color spectrum. And we're clearing out the unconscious energy within it so that way there's more of us present. And so that's sort of the reason behind why we have these different colors. And what I noticed today was like, it was just sludge. It was like, wow, this is really, it was intense. And it wasn't intense so like a negative way. It was just like, I was here, and next thing you know, I would be noticing something else. In fact, it was fascinating because at one point I was just noticing the grounding, and this was even at the beginning. And I noticed that because one of the things you do is, you pay attention to the base your spine, center of the planet, and then that whole length. And I noticed all this stuff where it's supposed to connect to the center of the planet. It was just I just noticed all this white. It was just fluffy, and it was just unconsciousness. And I was like, wow, look at all this stuff in here. And then as I was just, it was just ground. Just stay grounded and let the energy flow. Just let the grounding cord do its job, because it's all about gravity. Remember, gravity is taking this stuff and it's going down your grounding cord. So it's letting nature, letting the universe sort of do its thing. And my goal is just, can I stay present and watch the process? So it's really, it's neutrality. It's, can I just be aware of what's going on within me as I know the grounding cord's doing its job, which is called, it's releasing stuff. And then I also noticed at the base of my spine, my whole sacrum area, there's this sludge that was in there. And the sludge, I actually noticed it was actually in all the different layers. It was just really stuck. And it was all in the sacrum area. And then as I started releasing, I started noticing the awareness of the sludge was actually going up my spine. And what was happening is, it wasn't traveling up my spine, I was releasing stuff within me. And so as I was releasing more of this sludge, whatever it was coming out of my body, and it was going down my grounding cord. But I realized how it was like mud. It was thick and dense. And so I was just like going, wow, there's a lot of stuff in here. And so I decided, I was like, okay, I'm not willing to finish this one cycle with all the stuff inside. So I was like, I'm going to do another cycle and see how much I'm able to clear today. Because this looks like it's been around for a while. And for those of you that are like going, well, I don't notice any of that stuff, don't worry about it. Remember, it's notice what you notice. I've been doing this for a while. Some of you guys that are listening, maybe you're really tapped in intuitively to what you're noticing. Fabulous. But a lot of people, they're like going, I don't notice anything. Don't worry about it. Notice whatever you're noticing. Could be I'm unconscious to what I'm noticing. Well, great. Guess what? That's unconsciousness. Or I don't notice anything. Well, then you're noticing the fact that you don't notice. Let that go down your grounding cord. These are layers within us. We're unpeeling the layers so that way we can get more to our core essence, to who we actually are. And this stuff is just interference. It's just static. And so, and this is sort of why I'm describing things, is because we all carry this stuff. Every time we breathe, when we're living life, we collect stuff, and this stuff gets compounded within us unless we let it go. And so, as we get older, guess what? If we don't get rid of stuff, we just hold more and more in. And so the whole point is to keep releasing, to keep energy flowing, so that way we're healthy, we're vibrant. If you notice, if you go to a hospital, and they hook you up to the machines and they see a flat line, it's not a good thing. you want those lines, you want movement, you want the heartbeat, you want, the body is vibrant. There's a lot of energy within the body. At the same time, that's how life is. Our emotional body is movement. It's not stagnant. It's not frozen. Our mental body is not frozen. It's not stagnant. I mean, if you think about curiosity, curiosity is motion. Enthusiasm, emotional stuff is motion. And so you realize, like, okay, life is about movement. A physical body is not stagnant. It's supposed to be in motion. Now, granted, I may be sitting here in a chair meditating, so I'm not in motion, but guess what? I'm moving energy. So my body is in motion. It's just in a different state versus if I'm exercising and working out. And those are good things too. So, but today, that was really sort of the message for myself, was just realizing how much energy was within this one bandwidth. And could I be okay with that as well as releasing? Now, one of the things I don't mention, and I will mention in this video, is one of the things I was doing while, because I was noticing stagnation, was I was literally using my energetic hand, so to speak. I wasn't doing it physically, but as I was closed and I was noticing my body and noticing where things were stuck, I would sort of do this internally. And I was just moving energy. And so as I was, it's just like petting, it's like combing hair, petting hair, So that was what I was doing with the backside of my body. I was just really paying attention to moving the energy down my spine and down my grounding, because it just felt like it needed that. And again, it's not something that I don't teach that within the audios, because again, it goes back to, well, what works for you? But today, it just felt right. It's like, okay, I want this grounding cord to release. This sludge or this mud was just not releasing the way I wanted it to. And so this just felt good. And so I did this for a while throughout the colors. I was just working it. And I was just noticing my physical body and noticing just my whole body itself. It's like, okay, can I be aware of my space and just letting stuff move and release? So, yeah. So it was, to be honest, it was tough, but it was really good because that stuff was already in there. And so now I have more space for me. And I will be frank. One of the things I did do at the end before I started this video was I actually created a bubble and reclaimed my energy, because I just felt like I really needed to replace that stuff that I was releasing. You'll learn about that in, today's 5, 6, 7, in 3 days. That's actually the lesson 2 will go into reclaiming your energy. So I'll give you a little tease on what we're going to be doing in a couple days. But it was important. I needed that. So anyways, fabulous day. So I hope you're having an amazing day. I hope you're following along and you're appreciating your space and what it's like to have more ownership and better boundaries, and developing that consciousness to what it's like to have physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual boundaries. What is it like to have your personal space? So enjoy your morning, your afternoon, your evening, your night, whatever time you're seeing this video, and I will talk to you on day 6. Take care.